So in this video, I want to share with you 7 copywriting tips for coaches and course creators I bet you've never heard before. Before we can jump in, I need to do some housekeeping with you. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Evelyn Weiss. I am a coach and course creator myself. I have low-ticket online coaching communities, currently with over 5,500 paying monthly members. And I write a lot of copy for my social media channels, for my emails, for my sales pages, for my mini offers, flagship programs, ads, whatnot. However, I am not a copywriting expert. In my programs, I actually work with certified copywriting coaches, and those are the real experts. So although I have experience and I'm passionate about copywriting, I would not consider myself an expert. Why do I still record this video and feel called to? Well, many of my members keep asking me to include copywriting training from myself, like from me, in the course. And I really want to say that I only want to share things that I know to be true from genuine experience, which is why I have been hesitant so far to share it. But I thought I can create this video, and I never want to hold back on something that actually helped me, and I can talk about the things I really truly know, which is what I will be doing in this video. So in this video, I will tell you the 7 things that made a huge difference for me when it comes to writing good copy that connects with my audience and actually converts. If that sounds fair, then let's jump with me right into the first tip. So my first tip is to really embrace your authenticity. I am a firm believer that your intentions shine through in every single thing that you do, also in your copy. If you deeply care about your people, about your followers, your subscribers, your paid members, your one-to-one clients, if you have a clear vision for what it is that you want to bring to the world, if you're on a mission, you have a purpose, you stand in that purpose, and you strongly believe in what you do, your copy will reflect that. Because you will choose to talk about different things in a different way as compared to somebody who is in it for, just the money or a different kind of motivation. So really think about what needs to be said and then say it, right? Speak out and dare to communicate what matters to you. I think that every single word that we write is an opportunity to make a difference. What I always try to do is say the things that I think need to be said and shut up about the things that I think, I can't really contribute. I don't really have genuine experience. It's a trend. I really try to focus on communicating the things that really align with what I want to bring to the table. So that's the very, very first thing, is allow yourself to really write copy and write about what really matters. And whenever you write, you always want to do that with conviction and with passion, which is kind of the logical consequence of talking about those things that truly matter for you to those people that truly matter to you. Okay, so the second tip might feel a little bit out there and weird for some of you, but what I recommend, what it is to tap into universal experiences and feelings. So just give it a try, just once. The next time you sit down to write copy, get yourself into an emotional state. How this works is that you sit down and you use an association from what's happening right now to bring up a memory. That can be a treasured, beautiful experience. It can also come from, a little bit of a darker place. We need to feel it deeply, and it needs to be something that is sparked from a current association we have. Because in our copy, we will tell the story of how this current association brought us back to that point in time. That's kind of the hook, the intro to the story. When we are back at that point in time, we would want to feel that emotion deeply, and we would want to look for the lesson in that story. And then once we found the lesson, we would want to tell that story and then draw a conclusion about this lesson, and then help our reader to connect the dot about how it's relevant for them right now. So how this learning applies to them too. And because we were telling the story from a place of when we were writing it, where we were in an emotional state, we felt that deeply. And what's beautiful is that when you feel deeply when you write, very, very often this trickles down, and your reader will feel a lot more when reading what you've just wrote for them. My third tip is to lean into this current trend of rawness, realness, relatability. We had so many years of polished influencers, of pedestaled gurus, that especially since the rise of TikTok, we see a huge trend towards relatability, realness, rawness, and you can embrace that in your copy. There are two ways that I kind of play with this. The first thing is that I love to include details in my copy. So the nitty-gritty of my story and of my transformation journey that only somebody who genuinely experienced the transformation would know, I love to weave those in, and with that kind of between the lines proof that I know what I'm talking about from real life experience. The second thing that I do to kind of embrace leaning into that trend is to be a lot more chill about my perfectionism. So as you can tell, probably English is not my first language, and what happens is that when I try to express myself in my copy, I often end up saying some weird things that grammatically make no sense, and I have one or the other typo, right? I have actually people calling me out under my ads that there are typos in the ads, and what I can tell you is that although there are quite a few people calling me out in often, unfortunately, not really polite, or let's say also very raw, unedited ways, those ads are super profitable. What it taught me is that I can be much less perfectionistic about my copy. It doesn't mean that I should be sloppy or negligent, right? When I write a sales page, I'll have somebody read over it if I can. But would I let it stop me if I don't have like a second opinion right now? Would I let it stop me from pushing it out there to my list? Probably not at this point anymore, right? The same goes with my social media posts or with my emails. For me, it's more important to really convey the message, get my point across, give the reader all the information they need to either understand what I'm trying to say, like learning, having the value, having the insight, or to decide if they want to move further with me in one of my paid programs or get an offer from me. So it's really just about my focus is need to transport the information, ideally emotionally charged so it lands with the person, but I really don't care too much anymore about being perfect. First one is a quick one, and this is being mindful about your emotional triggers. When a song, the weather, your dad, a flower, when something makes you feel a certain way, an interaction with somebody, when something makes you feel a certain way, notice it, investigate why am I feeling this way, and note it down. And later on, when you write copy, when you write your stories, your social media posts, your emails, your sales pages, look through your notes of what made you feel a certain way and reuse them in your copy, because this is a beautiful way to also emotionally charge your copy and to call something out that probably also makes a huge chunk of your audience feel a certain kind of way. And because you were the person describing what it does, you offered the insightfulness that creates trust, and again is a way to emotionally charge the message, the information you want to convey, and with that increasing the likelihood of it actually landing with the person and doing something with them, motivate them to take some sort of action, which should be one of the main goals of our copy. Tip number 5. Use emotionally charged, vivid, vibrant language. You would want your words to be like a paintbrush painting a picture in your reader's mind. See what I just did there? First, I gave you quite descriptive words and a tip, and I bet it didn't do as much with you as when I gave you the metaphor of the paintbrush, right? So whenever we can, we would want to be less explicit, descriptive, and more work with analogies and metaphors, like, painting the picture in your reader's mind. This is especially true when we tell our stories. So what I often see with my members is that when they tell their story, their transformation story, they are being quite explicit with how they felt before and how they felt after. And what it does is when they say things like, I was really frustrated and I was really sad, and it often can feel a little bit tacky. Whenever you can, try to really, going back to talking about details, describe more the situation and make your reader read the emotions between the lines using metaphors and analogies. It will land completely differently, it will spark a lot more trust, and it will evoke a lot more emotions, which again are the gateway for our copy to the awareness of our reader, to the attention, to the trust, and then to taking the desired action. My sixth tip is to utilize AI to improve your copy. I personally love to use ChatGPT to polish my social media posts, emails, and sales pages. But here's a big but. You really need to be mindful about how you approach this. I always say that when working with AI, you actually need to think more, not less. I personally hold myself accountable to always outline in a Google Doc first before jumping into ChatGPT, and this is because I need to be the creative director. This goes back to the very first tip. I need to be the person leading with the vision. I need to be the person leading with her story, and ChatGPT can only help me to find different angles for how to phrase things and different ways to word things. We can use copywriting formulas like the AIDA and have it rewriting what we first wrote with that formula, and then just take what we like, but we should not use it as a starting point. The whole goal of this video is to really teach you how to write very unique copy that is high converting and creates an emotional connection with your reader, which is what my members say that I'm quite good at, right? And what kind of also I think is reflected in my numbers. When you start in ChatGPT, you're kind of robbing yourself of that whole opportunity. Always use it to polish and finish and find different angles. Always be creative director, always be the final editor. The whole goal of your copy is to leverage what's uniquely yours and create a real authentic connection at scale. Be mindful when using AI, but also, don't leave an amazing productivity tool and brainstorming tool like that being on the table. Seventh tip is to use your social media as a gym to grow your copywriting muscle. I write 2 to 3 long-form posts every single week. Those are value-based story posts that I share with my audience, and it's so beautiful on so many levels. The first thing is, of course, it delivers value to my audience while training my copywriting muscle, while giving me an idea for what my audience appreciates and wants more of. With that, setting the foundation for my paid content. I also use it as pillar content to repurpose into quote posts, short form video, and even long form YouTube videos like this one. This YouTube video is based on a post that I wrote, and it really makes me not only a better copywriter, but also a better teacher. It helps me to carve out my positioning, find my brand voice, while, keep nurturing my audience and ultimately resulting in more sales alone from the social media. So about 1/3 of all my sales comes from my organic content, which I think is totally mind-blowing and amazing. But it's not only that, it's also what I learned from that organic success for the sales pages, for the ads, for the stuff that I need to create. So it's so beautiful and beneficial on so many levels. Alright, this is it. I hope you were not disappointed, because I think you very likely wanted to see some formulas and hacks and tips and tricks. But this is what, certified copywriting experts can tell you about copywriting. This is not my personal truth and experience. My personal truth and experience with copywriting is that writing good copy is the logical consequence of consistently providing written value for your audience, only being focused on getting important messages through to them by sharing your emotions and carving out who you truly are, and then using the learnings from serving and implementing it in your ad copy, in your sales pages for the offers you craft. And ultimately, that is really what I think made me a good copywriter naturally over time.